Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Drive Girls after spending like 10 minutes trying to figure out a weird technical problem that was nothing to do with Drive Girls. It's like even the world is trying to stop me from checking out Drive Girls. But no, I have to check out Drive Girls. Well, try to anyway, so gotta have a quick look around at first. Do these seeing screens look familiar to you in any way, shape or form? That's because they are. Also, I did change my name to Jiggles Monster. I was hoping for Booby Monster, like, Sakurako, but no, unfortunately that's not an option in this game. But yeah, that option menu is from Tamsoft. This is a Tamsoft game. It is a 3D beat-em-up about girls who can turn into cars. Yes, that's actually kind of an original idea for once. I'm kind of amazed. So, we're just going to go have a quick look around before we get into the actual game. It won't take long. There's your options screen again. We've got a gallery that we can use to look at the sound, album, and tutorial. Oddly enough, the main menu description, look at it carefully. You can check out all kind of stats and records. There's no stats in the gallery whatsoever. I don't know why. But anyway, you have a sound test for all the music in the game. You have all the tutorial screens for all the individual characters and all the things you can do in the game, but really it's nothing you can't figure out. Album is actually something we want to do, because what I want to do is watch a cutscene so you can hear the voice acting going on. I believe this is the one I'm thinking of, I hope it is. And you have to press R to turn on the automatic, which is a little odd, but oh well. You know what, screw it, I'm skipping the rest. If the commander comes up, I'll let her talk for a bit, but really, you know what we're working with here. Basic Japanese dub, basic Japanese dub, basic writing, nothing to really write home about. The story is bollocks, by the way. There's, like, nothing going on whatsoever that makes it even remotely interesting. And weirdly enough, the game has this weird tendency to have characters spill their guts about their own personal histories, except their personal history is like, one event in their life that is somewhat relevant to the plot, and then it just continues on like normal, and you actually get a trophy saying, hey, you went through this character's episode, and it's really shit. Let's move up to customize. And we can either go to the parts shop, which we'll actually do that first, because this is where we can come to buy stickers, items, and L gear. L gear is a bit weird in this game, but basically the idea is you buy it, and you use these gears to power up your people. You've got items, which are just consumables that heal either your energy, your health, or both. Then you've got your stickers, which serve as little boosters, but you don't actually unlock that many stickers. Like, every sticker that you see in the first mission is also every sticker you're going to be seeing in the 12th mission. You can sell your stickers, and you can trade your stickers for higher level stickers, even though they aren't even really higher level stickers. Also, you need an absolute ton of these stickers to actually get the, you actually need an absolute ton of stickers to get the high-powered stickers, and that will take literally ages. So I wouldn't suggest bothering with trade at all. I haven't had to bother with it yet either. So let's go on into tuning. Now, tuning is fairly simple. You have a second comms, which I'm not entirely sure what this is. I think that's the second deployable weapon that you get that gets, that has, what's the word I'm looking for? That you can use with, for your energy as a cost, but there's really no point to that because you want to be using your energy for other things. You have stickers, and these 5 stickers are all individual stickers, and they all have different status effects, and if you manage to get a full set of them, you can equip the set, and it'll give you a overall boost along with the boost that you get normally. However, again, I'm halfway through the game. The game has like 24 episodes or something like that with a couple of bonus ones tacked on the end. And I'm up to episode 12 and I still haven't gone off the Clover set. The only reason I have the safety set on with this girl is because I was doing it as a test and it didn't really seem to help much. Might as well put on the fire set because it really doesn't help one way or another. The stickers are actually kind of ineffective and you don't really get to... What's the word? You don't really get any real effect out of them that I've noticed in particular. You do also have a gear set that you can access by pressing the start button. Everyone has their own unique gears, and you apply them and they can be reset and reapplied at any time, and they give you stat boosts. So yeah, my stats have gone up very slightly on her, and you can also press square to put in any consumable items that you might have. So we've got repair parts here, which is basically just a health potion. You'll need some of them. And as you can see, the stickers are actually applied up close and personal onto, well, everywhere. There's one on the arm, there's another one on the arm, there's one on the back, there's one on the head. Where's the one on the legs? I assume it's the one on the weapon, but, yeah. You get the idea. And that's basically it. Also, annoyingly, if you just want to go into the tuning menu to do something real quick, you can't actually exit the tuning menu until the model's loaded in, and the model takes 15 seconds to load in for no discernible reason whatsoever. So, let's go on and play episode 12. I'm gonna skip all of the, cutscenes after this point, because there is a story event that happens. It is kind of spoilery-ish, but not really. It's not that big of a deal. But whatever. So I'm just going to hit square here and just skip all of this. All of this. All of this. God, this is a longer cutscene than normal. So here we are. We get to pick our character from here. I'll go from... we'll do 7 first. Why not? I only just unlocked her, but she should be alright to play through on this stage. You only get 5 characters in this game, which is kind of disappointing considering they're all relatively similar. But there are also areas that they differ, and we'll be getting into that when the game loads. Anytime now, please. It's not that bad. It's just a little slow, nothing too out of the ordinary. So here we are. This is Drive Girls. It is a 3D hack and slash from Tamsoft. So what do you expect? There are a couple of things you can do that make things interesting, but we'll just go over the basics first, and the basics involve you can dodge, you can attack, you can heavy attack, and the heavy attack will also usually do a stun lock. You have the ability to power yourself up either by hitting enemies. Get out of the bloody way of the camera. You can either power yourself up by hitting enemies, or you can hold the circle button when you have a bunch of energy saved up. And it will give you some energy up in the top right corner of the screen there. Let me power up a little first. There we go. If you power up enough, you'll go into overdrive mode, and that'll do some extra damage. The higher your level is up in the top right, you'll actually do more damage as well. So there is a reason to actively be trying to power yourself up. You'll be in overdrive mode for about a minute, and then you'll go back down to level 3. However, if you do this, if you press the L button when you have full EP, you will do a special attack, and that special attack will drain you back to level 1. And you have to start charging up that meter again, which I just did a little bit, but not that much. It also falls naturally over the course of a few minutes if you don't actually bother to attack anything. So I would suggest actually bothering to attack stuff. You don't have that much in the way of combos or attacks. You just have a square and a triangle button. You do also have an attack that you can do when you jump in the air, but that's the same for everyone as well. It's kind of disappointing, actually. Damn, no canisters around here. There are canisters you can blow up. Sometimes they'll let you do like a bunch of damage at once to these guys, but they're just not there sometimes. It kind of sucks. And that's basically it. Like, that's really all there is for at least this part of the game. There are, of course, parts with cars involved, but the unfortunate thing is actually going into car mode in this, at least this, like, combat part of the game is a massive disadvantage, because your car mode doesn't really have much in the way of attacks. Like, it's capable of crowd control in a situation where you really need crowd control, but that's about it. You do have a lock-on, you do have weapons that you can fire off, so as you can see, I just managed to fire off a big shot. It does, oh, no, actually I didn't. Now I can fire off a shot, there we go. However, that actually costs CP, and your EP is better saved for charging than it is for these weapons, because these weapons are actually really shit and cheap and, not cheap, weak. So, yeah. I just turned into a car. Vroom vroom, motherfuckers. Unfortunately, due to the fact that you're a fat ass, you can run into those mines really easily, which I just did. Not to mention that your only attacks when you're a car is charging and that sort of square spinny crowd control move, which does nothing in the way of damage. So there is really no point into going into a car for the combat sections, which kind of sucks. It makes the car a little bit useless. There are actually racing segments in this game where you race around as the car, but they're actually really shit. Now, for some reason, the game decides to only have one track. One track, and you race on it like 3 to 4 times. At least I've been on it 3 to 4 times already. 3 to 4 times on the same track with exactly the same mechanics. Because the way the racing works is that the enemy will always be faster than you, no questions asked, at least in the first few levels. I've been playing for about 3 hours, in case you're wondering, because I think I forgot to mention that. The problem with the racing is, since they are always faster, you always have to find the... You always have to find... What's the word? Take that cube. You always have to find the guys that are hanging around on the stage. Like, there will be bugs hanging around on the stage that will go down in one spin of your... Ow. They'll always go down within one spin of your car attack, and they will give you full boost meter. Like, no questions asked, you will get full boost meter if you hit them completely. That means that in order to win, you need to do the exact same thing on every track, which is just do the track until you come across the guys, then hit the guys, use their boost to keep in the lead, because you can use EP to boost you when you're in the car, and that's it. That's all there is for the racing part of the game. I'm not even joking, that's it. That's entirely it. So you have to do that like 3-4 times over, and it never gets any harder because they never change up the course, and they never make the actual like racing more interesting, which is a shame because other than the collision mechanics in this being a fair bit shit, the actual car and car handling actually works fairly well. It's very arcadey, it steers really nicely, the brake gives a nice little power slide effect. And the boosting does make it feel like you're going relatively fast. So if it was put into like its own game, I'd find myself way more into it. But just in this game where it has absolutely no relevance to anything whatsoever, it's really disappointing. Especially with all these mines on the road, since you have to avoid all the mines. Hang on, there's a canister here, so if I draw them all close enough, I can... Well, not all of them, but I got one of them. That works for me. You can hammer away on the triangle button until you have no EP, but, yeah. It's a very costly move, but it is a good way to deal massive amounts of damage in one go, so probably recommended. Although, if you run out of EP, it stops stun locking. Which, in this game, you want to do. Now, I'm going to tell you the main problem with this game's combat. The game is fast. It is, well, fairly smooth. There are some frame rate drops, but it's nowhere near as bad as, say, Estival Versus, for example. And it runs at a fairly good clip. It's fast, it's fun, for Tamsoft anyway, and it works well enough. The characters are all significantly different, so you have a fair amount of stuff to work with, and I will show off the second character by going back to a previous mission that I know isn't ridiculously long. However, there is one massive problem with this game, and that's the fact that everything stun locks. Literally everything stun locks. The very, very small ones, they stun lock. The big ones, they stun lock. The really big ones, they stun lock. Now, normally this wouldn't be a problem, but when literally everything stun locks, it means that the enemies will swarm around you, and they will beat your ass. They can get you into a combo that is inescapable. They can beat your ass so hard that you will fail the mission just from one combo. That is entirely possible. You will be frozen to the spot, everything will be surrounding you and attacking you, and there'll be nothing that you can do. So, that just happens constantly. And it sucks. It really sucks. Because the amount of times I've been knocked into a combo and haven't been able to do anything for a few seconds is huge. And I hate it. The game does recommend that you... Hang on, is this the one that's the endless mission? No, it's not. Alright, we're going to be playing this one then. We're going to be playing as Regolith. We're going to be playing as Regolith because I want to make a point. So yeah, just being surrounded by these enemies and having them constantly beat your ass is horrible. The game does recommend going into your car form and doing your spin attack because it does work as crowd control and it lets you get the hell out of there. But again, if you're being stun locked, you can't do it, so there's no point. It's very odd. So, anyway. I'll just hit the drive button again. Combine this with a few other things, like, for example... Like, I actually do like the handling of these cars. It works surprisingly well. Like, look at that. It actually feels really nice under the fingers. After having played that other Tamsoft game, which was the Highway Chase Full Boost, whatever the fuck it was, playing this game and actually enjoying the driving physics in it, I'm really surprised that that game didn't turn out way better. If they made like a sort of like blur level of realistic combined with arcade racing, it would probably turn out really well. But anyway, back on point. There are a couple of other things that make the game relatively untenable as well. Like, you can see that despite the fact that the entire backdrop of the world has changed, the basic goal of the missions remains the same pretty much all the time, which is go to the next blue tower, hit everything that is near this blue tower, find the one enemy that is apparently like the one that keeps everything else alive, kill it, everything else dies, like you just saw there, rinse and repeat over and over again until the mission's over. That's it. There is no variety, no... I mean, other than the driving missions, of course, but as I've said before, they suck. There is no variety in, like, the combat layout or mechanics whatsoever, except in the enemies, and the basic difference in the enemies is just how much they attack. That's more or less it. There's nothing else to it. You want my advice in getting through this game? Get a character, aka get Regalia, that has a stun lock attack that you can reliably pull out. Use that stun attack until the end of fucking time. The end. That's basically what this combat wears down to at the end of the day, because there's nothing else you can really do, because everything else stun locks you. And there's just... keeping enemies like this fucking spike ball here down on the ground and just, you know, just falling to your lovely breasts. I don't even know how to put that in a way that doesn't sound ridiculous. Keeping the enemies down and stun locked is the only real way to realistically actually win in this game, because some enemies aren't too bad, but there are some enemies that are absolutely fucking horrendous. There's the boost, by the way. There are some enemies that are absolutely fucking horrendous when it comes to the stun locking and their just ability to dodge out of the way of every attack that you have. And we're about to fight one. It's that Silver Scorpion. This Silver Scorpion will just jump all over the place, and the only way to beat this thing reliably quickly is to keep it stun locked. So that means getting a decent character whose stun locking is relatively capable, and that's Regalia for you, because Regalia is the only character I know of who can reliably stun lock that you get early on. You get her in like the 3rd chapter, and then it takes ages to unlock the other characters, and by ages I mean like an hour, but at the same time when the combat is this repetitive, yeah. Also, yeah, as you can see, you get hit once, you get knocked out of your car mode, and once, obviously you get hit a lot in this game, and there's not much you can really do in the way of blocking. So, you know, it's wonderful, isn't it? It's a shame because the overall performance and everything of this game is actually really good. There are some slowdowns and there are some control things I'd like changed. Like, why the hell is lock-on up on the D-pad? I'm not entirely sure why that's a thing. It could be anywhere, even remotely better, and it would still work better than that. But, you know. Oh, great. The invisible motherfucker. These guys come up from time to time. You can't hit them while they're invisible. So, it makes them a massive pain in the ass to fight. So you just have to go up to them, stun lock them repeatedly, and hope for the best. And obviously try not to attack them when they're invisible, because they will be more than happy to come out and stun lock you and just do massive amounts of damage to you forever and ever. Thankfully, I'm actually pretty over-leveled for this stage because I bought a ton of those gears that help you do a bunch of extra damage. And you know what the worst thing is? Even if you want to grind in this game, you can't unless it's with a character that exists in these previous missions. And I'll show you because I'm going to go back and I'm going to have to play with the first girl in order to demonstrate how she works. I absolutely hate the blue cat-eared girl because her chakrams, which are her weapon, are really short range for the most part, and they're just a pain to use. Let's use a... What's the most recent Sprawling Brains? Okay. Beat 7 in the race. I'm not going to show off the race. The race is pointless. We'll play as Lancier on this mission. Her name is ridiculous. It's like Lancier Revolution. Lancier, Regala, Galaxa, and 7. Like, those first two names are references to cars, aren't they? I could swear that the Regalia is a car from something. I'll be damned if I remember what. But it's a car from something. Oh. Oh, this is meant to be the bloody grass area, but no, fuck it. Wow! Jesus, fuck, that was a lot of HP I lost at once. Alright, screw it. Hit the thing, you die. There's another one of these bloody things, because, yes, they do recycle enemy designs like a motherfucker. And it's episode 10. Oh yeah, there you go. I was waiting for an opportunity to bring that up, but thankfully they brought it up for me. Holy shit, I'm taking so much damage right now. Yeah, you guys just sit down. But yeah, as you can see, there is clothes tearing in this game. But it's not even clothes tearing, it's just one. Like, it's just one stage of clothes tearing. You literally go from fully armored to lingerie, and you only do it, like, you know, did you see how low my health had to get before it actually did it? Yep, I'm dead. As expected. I will pop back to a much earlier mission. That was weird. I don't know why I'm so underpowered for that one, but yeah, they do tend to do that. But yeah, your health has to get so low for the armor break to happen that due to the way the combat works with the stun locking and everything just falling apart and all that, you'll be dead by the time the animation for the actual clothes breaking is over, for the most part, unless you're constantly hammering away at that consumable item that you need. Yep, this is more like what I was expecting. There we go. But yeah, as you can see, it looks, well, it doesn't look exactly the same, but it's in exactly the same sort of arena and level design and all that. Jesus, the damage. Just overall, it's another average or below average, I'd rather call it below average, Tamsoft beat 'em up. That's really all there is to it. I'm bored. 3 hours in and I'm bored. There's just nothing to it. I did just manage to win the entire level in like a couple of seconds, despite the fact that I was taking massive amounts of damage. But really, you didn't miss much. Also, somehow managed to get S ranking on that. Also, 20,000 credits. That might actually be good. That might actually be a good stage for farming money, because God knows you need a lot of money to get all those fucking gears. But yeah, I don't like it. I think it's a waste of a unique concept. The combat works okay, but the stun locking really brings it down, and there's obviously no story or plot of any real significance. The characters are nothing. There's just nothing worthwhile going on here whatsoever. So yeah, right now to be fair, right now is in the moment this video comes out. It'll be out in Europe next week. I don't know what the price is. I should have asked, but I don't really think it's worth your time. Just go play Senran Kagura again. That's more fun. It's got more combat variety. It doesn't have the stun locking issue. It actually has characters, and it's just more fun in general. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.